Aston Martin has racing its DNA from the very beginning. And advancing technology through racing, lightweight materials, lightweighting the cars, the aerodynamics of the car, always been part of the makeup of an Aston Martin. Being back on the grid, it really is back where we belong. It's a team process here at Aston Martin. And within that team, you have manufacturing, you have engineering, and you have design. The engineer-designer relationship is vital, and that's when you get excellence. When you have perfection in engineering, that drives perfection in design. I mean, design as a principle is the generation of ideas. You create a drawing which comes from your inner thinking that you can communicate through a visual language. Thoughts that may come from looking at art, from looking at movies, from looking at sculpture, from looking at an exhibition. But if you look at nature and technology, there is a direct link. The structures that exist within nature and how we make forms and structures out of carbon fiber, there is a symbiosis between them. I mean, technology within the design context allows us to trial and error different ideas very, very quickly. We use CAD, we use virtual reality goggles to see something that doesn't exist. Testing and car technology is so important to us. Currently, we are Le Mans champions. That's racing a car at its limit for 24 hours. And therefore, you have to be accurate with everything. You have to test everything. You have to be rigorous in the way you apply that, making sure you're performing at the ultimate for 2 hours or 24 hours. This is where Cognizant can really help. It can put that data at our fingertips so we can analyze and make a better car. It's really important that we look at how we use technology within Aston Martin, but ultimately an Aston Martin is handmade, hand-built. You look at an Aston Martin interior, there is typically one seamstress. That seamstress would do left and right-hand seat because their individual sew line is uniquely different. So it's like a fingerprint. And that's so important. It's an artisan approach. We create by hand when we first imagine the car in clay, and that becomes a piece of sculpture, of physical manual build. The paint check is done by the left hand wearing a glove. So ultimately, that hand can feel imperfections in the surface. It can feel anything that may have been out of place. And at the end of the day, the car, before it rolls off the line, has its wings placed on by hand. So there's a connection. There's a connection, therefore, when the driver starts to drive an Aston Martin, because they can almost feel and sense that this car was handmade, was made with care. And I'll call it love, made with passion. As a fan of Formula One, it's so exciting to be back on the racetrack in Formula One with Cognizant as a partner. And together we can really push the boundaries in terms of technologies to improve our road cars, but ultimately to win on the track.